Hey everyone, welcome back to the video. In this video, we are having an interview with one of my friend, and he has been cracked on a good opportunity that he has been doing in a Microsoft. And today we will be having some of a few insight about M.Tech and how you can crack into the Microsoft. So let's begin it. Nazim, first, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hello, Aarsh, and hello, everyone. So, I am Mohammad Nazim, and I completed my B.TECH from a private college from AKTU in 2020.
Okay.
And I then enrolled in M.Tech program at IIIT Roorkee, and I completed that in year 2022, which is this current year. And from there, I got on-campus placement at Microsoft. So, yeah, that's about me.
Means yeah, it was an on-campus placement from
Yeah, yeah.
IIT
So, it
Roorkee.
was, yeah, on-campus placement.
Yeah. Then you have done a M.Tech. So one of a doubt I have then, what were a few of the reasons that you decided to pursue an M.Tech after B.Tech?
Sure. So the thing is, I did my B.TECH from a tier three college. So
Yeah.
at there were not great placements, right? So the placements were like average. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's why I thought either I have to go off campus, right? Either I have to gain experience in the service based companies only, and then I can switch to product based, or I can go to a premier institute and pursue masters there, and there I can have on campus placements. So my
Okay.
preference was this M.Tech only, because I found it easier because off campus placements are generally harder than on campus placements,
Hmm.
and I found out that my interest was fairly much greater in the computer science subjects. So I thought GATE would be the right way for me.
Yeah. And if you pursue an M.Tech, then there are many possibilities. You can go for PhD or for various options have been outside there.
Exactly, exactly. Many other opportunities will come to you.
Yeah, I mean, so if you are from a tier three college, then M.Tech is a much of a good option for you because it in future you had a greater career options also and lot more benefit.
Yes. So if let's say you are not 100% sure if you want to go into research or development,
Hmm.
then you would also get an exposure at a premier institute. You will get a good exposure, and you will explore new things, and there you can get a clear idea for what you want to do next.
Yeah, that's fine. And one more doubt I had that is in B.Tech or M.Tech, in which placements have been better? Because many of our audience also have a doubt that which they should be deciding for it. So
Yeah.
can you
So
give some of its suggestion?
sure. So the placement actually depends upon where you are sitting. Like, where is the placement happening in your college? So if we talk about within the college, the B.TECH would be preferred. Okay,
Hmm.
but if we compare college to college, like a tier three college B.TECH and a premier institute M.TECH, so obviously M.TECH would be preferred there.
Hmm.
Right. So it depends where you are like viewing this scenario.
Okay, means it depends on a college also. If you are from tier one or tier two,
Exactly.
then you are more likely to get a placement. But
Exactly.
if tier three college, less number of companies would be also visiting and lesser
Yes.
opportunity we can guess. But if someone is from tier three college, then they can also try off-campus placement also.
Yes, yes, sure. So you can go for off campus as well, because now it is much easier actually,
Hmm.
because there are many platforms, right? Like Introbit and Relevel, and there are many platforms that can help you to get off campus placements. And like you, so there is various help available on YouTube as well. So for preparation purposes. So yeah, you can directly go for off campus as well. You don't necessarily have to go for MTech.
Yeah, and now there have been various websites also, and there have
Exactly.
been some of an event also or a competition you can say about a
Yes,
big
yes, yes.
MNC. They are hiring much of the students via different competitions
Hmm.
such as Big Creative Event and Microsoft Engage
Yes,
Event, all
yes,
those kind of
yes.
stuff.
And every platform are having their own competitions as well. Like Lead Code is also having like weekly, code competitions and everything that's going on.
Okay, then now we'll be moving towards here about how you are able to crack a Microsoft. So first of all, question would be that how was your preparation for Microsoft and what was the complete process about getting into Microsoft?
Yeah, sure. So in my case, it was an on-campus placement.
Yeah.
So the procedure will differ based on this. Okay, if you are applying on campus or off campus. For on campus placements, you have to like really focus on your coding skills. That's the first point. Okay, and after that you have to focus on your computer science core subjects. Okay, 4 to 5 subjects are there.
Yeah.
So that's the second thing, and the third thing that you have to focus on is your like communication skills. Okay, so these are the major three things that you have to focus on. So for major companies will have a online session coding round, right? So for that you need the coding skills, right? So for that there are various platforms available and various help and a lot of help is available, right? That's a itself is a big topic to cover. Okay. So in my personal case, I started coding on the lead code. Okay, and I started preparing it took me around 4 months to prepare, like from starting to the very end. It took me around 4 months. So I started coding on lead code, and in the beginning I used to do these easy questions, right, and then move to medium level questions and so on. And I used to do those questions category wise, right? For example, first I started doing questions on arrays, then strings, and like so on. And in the end I moved to like bit manipulation and harder level of dp, like 3d dp and all, right, like that. So once the coding part is done, the next thing you have to do is your core subjects. Okay, 4 to 5 subjects are there, like dbms is there, operating system is there, and computer networks is there, right? And computer networks is not necessary for all the companies, but companies like cisco will definitely ask you this computer networks. And computer architecture is also like rarely asked, but there are few companies which will definitely ask this. For example, Intel and Qualcomm, for example, they will definitely ask you about computer architecture and organization. So that's that. And this data structure and all algorithm, this is obviously you have to like study this, right?
Yeah, one of the highly recommended topics.
Yeah, so this is like obvious, this is you have to do it. So other than that, there's operating system, computer networks, and dbms. And if you have time, then you can also go for computer architecture.
Computer architecture. So these were few subject that you have prepared.
Yes, and yeah, and after that comes the interview preparation, like the communication skills. So for that, I only watched a few like YouTube videos, and I went through the commonly asked questions at interview. So I compiled a few questions, and I just prepared an answer for myself. So that's all I did for interview preparations.
Yeah, and what about the project? How the project play an important role in interview and all this kind of stuff?
Yeah, so basically, you have to prepare your resume, right? So in your resume, first of all, your education qualification is there. So that if you are education qualification will not matter if you are having good projects or experience. Okay, they will not see that. And if there is like on-campus placement is going on, so there for filtering purposes, they may see the CGPA as well.
Yeah, CGPA most important.
Yeah. So the next comes the experience in projects. Okay. So in the projects, what happens is let's say you have done various projects. Let's say you have done 5 to 6 projects. Okay. Now, if that project is related to the firm that you are applying to, okay, like the technology is like matching a little bit, or the idea of the product is matching a little bit, they will ask you deep questions about it. Okay, and if it is not matching, then you should prepare it like overview only, right? You don't need to deep dive into the code that you did like few years back. Like let's say you made a project a few years ago, and now there's no need to like go through each and every line of code in that project. You just have to have a basic idea, like what did you do in that project. And the most important things that usually is been asked in like related to projects are how did you come up with the idea, and what are the problems that you face or the challenges that you face, and how did you overcome those. Right? Beside these, the technical questions that they usually ask is about the programming language. Why did you choose that particular programming language or technology or database, like that? and they will expect you to compare the other possibilities. Like let's say you used SQL, so why did you use SQL and not MongoDB?
Hmm.
Like that, they will expect the answer.
Yes,
So
it
yeah,
means you should be completely prepared about your project. That
yeah,
this type of questions can become. You
yes,
should
yes,
be
you should be.
aware about your project also, that what are things you have done and how you have done.
Yeah, so the most important questions are related to why.
Hmm.
Like, why did you use this database, and why did you go for this language? These kinds of questions are more important. And what are the challenges and how did you overcome those? These kind of questions are more important
Hmm.
than the actual code that you wrote. That is not as much as important as the challenges and these programming languages kind of questions.
Okay. And how was your means a complete placement procedure? That what all things it have been there.
Yeah, sure. So before going to that, I forgot to mention one more point that I'm sure most of the people would ask.
Hmm.
That is, what is the programming language to choose, right? C++,
Yeah.
Java, Python, like that. So
So many have this stuff.
yeah, yeah. So for that, I would say just pick one programming language and just go through as much as I won't say syntax, like as much as rules of the programming language as you can,
Hmm.
and like study it as much as possible. Okay, and it also depends on company to company whether they would ask questions related to programming language or not. And let's say you pick C++, so there is so you should be aware of concepts like friend function and all, right? So this is the level of detail that you should go through.
Hmm.
And let's say if you pick up Java, then you should have very good knowledge about rules, about the OOPS concept, right?
Hmm.
And for C++ also there are various advanced topic related to OOPS, so you should cover those as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, so basically you can pick any one language. One language is more than enough, and but you should be proficient in that language. That's the key.
Yeah, man, well conversed and able to solve any of any problem given in that statement.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And that our question that how was your complete placement
yeah.
preparation?
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so first of all, there was this online assessment.
Hmm.
Okay, and in that online assessment, we had two questions. Okay, everybody got different questions.
Hmm.
Okay, and the first question was related to strings.
Hmm.
Okay, string manipulation, like subset string manipulation,
Hmm.
and the other question was related to merge intervals.
Hmm.
Okay, and in the next round, the interview process got started. In the interview there were three rounds itself.
Hmm.
Okay, in the first round it was like easy to medium level round,
Hmm.
and in that process, like the first interview, we had two questions. Okay, the first one was related to tree, and the second one was related to merge interval again.
Hmm.
And I was asked to code that as well.
Hmm.
Okay, I had to like code it. They had shared their own like platform to code,
Hmm.
and I had to code it and run the code. So it was like that, and I also had to explain the whole process, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And in the next round, so this first round was about an hour long, and within like 30 minutes the next round started, the next
Hmm.
interview round started.
Hmm.
In the round two of interview, again it was like 1.5 hour long. Again two questions were given, but this time the interview said that we wanted to have a good conversation about the problems,
Hmm.
and if you are not able to answer correctly, it will be okay, but if you do answer correctly, it will matter,
Hmm.
right? It was like that.
Yeah.
So basically the purpose was to have a good communication and a good discussion about the problem. So both of the questions were related to tree,
Hmm.
and I was able to answer correctly the first question, and also I wrote the code for him as well.
Hmm.
So we were not really asked to code in the second round, but
Hmm.
the way I proceeded with the problem was through the code only. So I wrote the code also.
Hmm.
For the second problem, I could not completely solve the problem. I partially solved it.
Hmm.
Okay. So because of the time barrier, the interview said that it's okay, it's fine, and I could leave. So like immediately the third round got started. That was the HR round, and in that various like personal life questions were asked, and I answered all of those confidently. And later on, he started asking questions related to design and UX.
Hmm.
So since I had no prior experience, so I should probably tell you that I didn't do any internship in my B.TECH,
Yeah.
okay, and my M.TECH either, okay.
Hmm.
So I had no prior experience.
Hmm.
So because of that, I was not aware of the design concepts, okay.
Hmm.
So I could not answer efficiently those questions, but I gave him a good idea of
Yeah.
what the solution could be.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was like that.
Okay. And this recruitment team are much helpful to you, or they are
Yeah,
means.
yeah, they were really helpful, and the process was very smooth actually.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when there is an in-campus placement, so there have been a lot of students. So to shortlist this person, these
Mhm.
companies must be using CGPA to shortlist. So at the end, CGPA will be mattering.
Yeah, CGPA does matter, but say let's say you have to like ask your seniors about this. I would say because we
Hmm.
cannot generally say that this is the pointer that you need to be inside. Right?
Hmm.
We cannot say it like that, but inside your institute you can ask your seniors like company-wise what is the CGPA required, right?
Hmm.
So like that you can ask, and with that you can plan your studies.
Yeah. And what was your first impression about Microsoft?
Like after joining or about the interview process.
Yeah, before and after also, you can say.
Yeah, so in the interview process, I was impressed because they had a really smooth process, and it was not like I was interrogated or something. It was like
Hmm.
a common discussion only that right now you and I are having. It was
Hmm.
like that only.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah, so it was like similar only. And after the interview, like Microsoft is very, I would say, easy to handle everything because see, I have no prior experience of any internship or any full time job. So even then, I was able to like handle everything very easily, and there is no workload at all. Like in the starting, you don't have to like work really hard, and everybody is very helping. And Microsoft is very well known for very good mentors.
Hmm.
So that's one thing about it.
And did you visit, means which campus did you get in Microsoft?
Yeah, so I got the Bangalore campus, and yeah, I'm in Bangalore, so I shifted in Bangalore only.
Hmm.
So I did went to office, and I've been going to office on a daily basis,
Hmm.
and it is amazing. Like yeah, there are so many facilities, and I would share the first day experience. So the first day I did nothing at all, and I went to office, and I only got my accessories,
Hmm.
and I explored the campus a little bit, and I came back to home. So yeah, it was like that.
And
And
first day it
everybody is
was.
very helpful, and everybody is very reachable.
Hmm. Then first day it was there, so it was much a pretty good fun for you and getting
Yeah,
to
it
breathe
was.
experience in life.
Yeah, definitely it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And means how easy or difficult to crack an Microsoft.
Well, it again depends if you are doing it on campus or off campus. So, off campus, I cannot really say because I do not have the experience of off campus.
Hmm.
But for on campus, it is like easy to medium only.
Hmm.
The things that you have to keep in mind is that for online assessment, they will give you problems related to like English tree or array string like those, and in that they will give problems that are having many edge cases,
Hmm.
right? So and they probably want to give you access to the test cases, and they
Hmm.
will only give
Okay.
you like one or two test cases. Yeah, that test cases will be hidden. So you really have to use your mind and think of all the edge cases possible. So yeah, you have to think like that according to the edge cases. And in the interview process as well, they will give you most probably they will give you at least one problem from the tree. And linked list is also very important from Microsoft. linguist tree, and array string. These four topics are important. And obviously DP will come into that. So
Hmm.
don't think like DP. I'm not saying DP because DP can be applied to any of these, right? So yeah, like
Okay. And did you apply to the any of other companies rather than Microsoft, or it was in your first company?
I had applied to a lot of obviously when you're sitting placement, so you apply as much
Yeah.
company as possible, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I did got selected or not selected but shortlisted in various companies.
Hmm.
So Microsoft was the first that I had interview of. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens in IIT Roorkee is that first you will be having all the online assessment rounds.
Hmm.
Once all the online assessment rounds are completed, then interview process will begin for all the companies.
Hmm.
So like that it happens, right?
Hmm.
So after all the online assessments, Microsoft was the first company that I had interview of.
Okay. And can you give some suggestion that how anyone can prepare and crack for the Microsoft? How we should be reaching out to the various people, or
Yeah, sure. So it again would vary according to on campus and off campus. So
hmm.
for on campus, do prepare your resume and be very mindful about what you write in your resume. Make it very precise. Even if you have 4 to 5 years of experience,
Hmm.
it may not exceed 1 page.
Hmm.
Okay, so the resume has to be very precise.
Yeah.
And the next thing is the coding. So for coding you have various options now. You
Hmm.
can do it on lead code interview it. What I would suggest personally, and what I did personally, was that I used lead code plus
Hmm.
interview bit
Hmm.
and a little bit of geek for weeks as well. Okay,
Hmm.
so this is I'm telling for coding.
Yeah.
So yeah, so and one more thing that I would like to add is, do not check the number of questions that you have prepared,
Hmm.
but instead check that how deeply and how much time did you put in each of those questions solving. Right, so it shouldn't be like you saw a problem, you started preparing and you saw the first problem and you are not getting the answer in the first 5 minutes, and you watch the video and solve it like that. So it
Hmm.
shouldn't be like that. You should put some time, put like fair amount of time, and when you think like you cannot solve this problem at given any time, then only you should go for the solution.
Hmm.
Because see, if I tell you personally, I did around 400 plus questions on lead code,
Hmm.
and I completed the interview. So I am at Microsoft.
Hmm.
One of my friend did only 150 questions at lead code, and partially she did interview bit. She's
Hmm.
placed at Google. So that's what I'm trying to tell. Okay, the number of questions doesn't matter, but the quality for how you are approaching those questions and solving those questions matters.
Yeah, means quality of code and your ability of problem skill, solving skills.
Yeah, so it's more about like how you are solving the problem. Are you putting in enough time or not? Are you really thinking about the problem or not? Unless you are not thinking about it, there will be no purpose of solving those questions. You will only end up preparing a lot of questions, but the actual growth of mind that is supposed to happen may not happen.
Okay. And one more thing I had to ask that what does actually a software developer does do in a company?
Yeah, so it depends like on what team you are in, right?
Hmm.
So basically, the day-to-day task would be like you would be assigned some task to do, and you will like code it, and yeah, that's about it.
Means if there is any problem, then you need to code it.
Yeah, basically, coding is what we do.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I would say do not worry about these things. See, even I myself was to think about it, like what would I actually do in the company,
Yeah.
right? But I would say like do not think about it, and just focus on your preparation, and these things will be managed automatically once you get into the firm, because there will be people helping you out,
Hmm.
ramping up with everything. Okay, so do not worry about these things.
Yeah, because these have been a general doubt, and many of I had also.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even like I said, even I used
Hmm.
to think like, what would I be doing in the company once I get placed? So,
Okay.
and now that I got placed. So when I think back, like what I used to think, so it sounds silly because that when you get placed, when you enter in the company, when you join the company, there will be a lot of people in your team that
Hmm.
who would specifically help you to understand what you would do. Okay,
Hmm.
and what you do would vary from team to team, let alone company to company.
Hmm.
Okay? So that is why it's not worth it of thinking about this thing.
Okay. And means on this only topic we will be continuing. That is can we change one team to another if we had a different interest and like that kind of stuff?
So yeah, at Microsoft you can do that very easily,
Hmm.
but obviously it will depend upon company to company.
Yeah, come it will be
Yeah.
matter. Okay. And last question, what would be your advice to our audience and students who are preparing for B.TECH or M.TECH placement preparation?
Yeah, see, the most important advice that I can give is the same that I just told you a little bit earlier.
Hmm.
Focus upon the quality of solving the question and not upon number of questions that you solve.
Yeah. Okay then. And one more thing I wanted to ask, how was
Yeah.
your family and parents' reaction when you told them that you have been able to crack in Microsoft?
So yeah, they were really really happy obviously and really proud of me. So when the interview had been done, so
Hmm.
in the like the interview was in the morning only, like
Hmm.
8 a.m. and I got the result in night at like 3 a.m.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I did not sleep at that night only because
Hmm.
see the next day also I had interviews of other companies,
Yeah.
and I knew that I have to get some sleep in order to give those interviews the next day.
Hmm.
But I just could not sleep because there was a lot of excitement and a little bit of nervousness as well. So and no one really slept at that night, not even only me.
Hmm.
So yeah, and then when the result was announced, so everybody was really really happy.
Okay. So that's pretty much for our interview.